laws of Sharia, that women wear decent, respectful clothing like men. Well, again, that's a bit subjective. It's like our hate speech laws. That could be anything that you interpret it to be. And
miniskirts are great.
Well, yeah, don't show any skin, you bloody heartlet. Honestly, what? That's not modest, is it? How can I be expected to control myself if you wear a miniskirt? Honestly.
You're blaming the victim now!
I can see loads of flesh.
H&M do some brilliant things.
Can I just say, cardigans are a timeless classic?
What happened to nudity? That was the good bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's get naked. Right now.
Don't want to be nude, especially with your complexion. It's for your own good, mate. Get that viral. Naturally, which side do you think Jeremy Corbyn was on this argument? Well, it's interesting you say that, because that's where we're going. So the Times reported this week that Jeremy Corbyn's drive for tolerance has, unsurprisingly, given a platform to extremists. Calm down, I know you're shocked. Jeremy Corbyn with extremists, enemies of Britain, Islamists, terrorists? No! Fucking perish the thought. Yeah, right.
He's banned from Golders Green.
He's banned from where?
Golders Green.
Oh, good. So, this was a campaign against Islamophobia that was launched in Parliament by Jeremy Corbyn that gave a platform to supporters of jihad. That's really fucking tolerant, Jeremy. Good job. So, the Islamophobia Awareness Month was celebrated in council buildings, universities and schools and featured extremist speakers. For example, a man called, they don't actually list his name, but a defender of Jihadi John, the famous English accented jihadi who was in the video cutting off a man's head in Syria.
He's just a poor soul.
Well, he didn't do nothing because he was apparently a beautiful young man. Didn't do fucking nothing.
How can he banned in the Quran?
Of course it is.
How can you tell he's beautiful?
If I remember, he had a buck too.
How the fuck does that work?
Okay.
He might be beautiful and gay.
Didn't do nothing.
So do they both get thrown off a roof then?
Police.
What are they going to accuse me of? Racism?
Wait, you're a racist. He's too brown for you.
The memes are too spicy.
We've got, honestly. So,
Racist to yourself.
actually, yes. So, obviously, this was done by a group called Muslim Engagement and Development, a lobbying organisation.
Muslim engagement? That's oxymoron.
I can't say anything about it. You're black. I can't. You can say that.
Sounds like a militia.
I'm too pale. I can't say that. But a lobbying organisation whose senior figures included a campaign who supported killing British soldiers and whose activists have made statements regarded as anti-Jewish. Oh, imagine my fucking shock.
Why there are no Jews in the world?
Well, it's because they were purged. That was in the Quran. Maybe Matey Boy will learn about that in prison. Yeah. He'll come out as a real pro-Israel guy, won't he? So, the campaign gave mainstream respectability to individuals with high-profile extremist histories, according to the Henry Jackson Society. The hate preacher Shakil Beg starred at an event for IAM at Deptford Lounge, a community centre owned by the London Borough of Lewisham. The evening was arranged by Stand Up to Racism campaign. Mr. Beg was found by a judge to be an extremist for saying that violence in support of Islam would constitute a man's greatest deed for endorsing a fatwa, and that it is a religious duty for Muslims to be hostile to or hate non-Islamic states. This is being sanctioned by the people at the top. They are the ones organising it in your universities, in your councils, and in your schools. This is the problem that we have to deal with, and by the way, you're all racists.
I drive a race car. I'm a racist.
So, Yeah, honestly, I'm not going to continue reading this article. It's actually pissing me off.
Did you find it grossly offensive?
I did.
Report it to police immediately.
So, weirdly, it's amazing how much you see this time and time again. So, the Women's March in the United States, I'm sure you've all heard of it, massive march, led by Linda. Nobody cared who I was until I put on a hijab and asked for women's vaginas to be taken away, so I saw. And you're going to be surprised to learn that a bunch of their top staffers are leaving the organisation because of anti-Semitism.
Well,
Imagine my shock.
he's made up his own one.
Hey, what's wrong with Jews? I love apple juice, tomato juice.
All kind of juice.
So yeah. So apparently their speaker Tamika Mallory attended a rabidly anti-Semitic speech by the Nation of Islam leader who railed against the Jewish community with conspiratorial claims that they ran the government.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
What's the conspiracy?
Streaming.
You're Jewish, you're part of it. You tell us. Yeah, that's right, you keep quiet now.
Where's my show money?
This is actually great, right? So he accused the Jewish community and governments of the United States and Mexico of spreading the use of marijuana to feminize black men.
Marley.
Yeah, it's not part of their culture. It's a Jewish conspiracy. Right.
Louis Farrakhan, is it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't there be easier ways?
It just gets better. So Farrakhan gave out a shout out to Mallory, who sat in the audience for his 3-hour rant about Jewish people.
He must fancy Jewish women.
Well, stupid, sexy Jews. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're poking. Yeah.
It's all right.
So yeah, again, I'm just going to stop this one because it's kind of pissing me off, and because there's an ambulance coming by.
You think it's an ambulance?
For you.
Sorry? What do you got? Right, I didn't know that.
It's for those old tweets. Can't try to get him back in.
Oh, come on, man.
You know, I'm against them banning someone like Lauren Southern for speaking, but she's not inciting terrorism. So it depends what I'd have to look at it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it's cool to be banned from the UK at this point.
Well, yeah.
All the cool kids are doing it.
Well, you said there are a lot of Islamists who aren't on the ban list, aren't there? So, you know.
They're not cool enough.
So, the next Labour leader, according to Harriet Harman, should be, well... Dan Stalin. Harriet Harman wants the next Labour leadership contest to be women only.
She's not diverse.
Well, yeah, Dan Abbott's going to win that.
What about trans women?
Well, that's actually a...
It's open up for debate.
Believe it or not, yeah, that is actually part of the debate they're going to have about that. So, you know, basically, lads, we can just claim to be chicks for a day. But the thing is, what the problem that I have with this is not just that it's discriminatory against men, but women, you should have a problem with this too, because she's literally saying you can't compete. That's what she's saying.
Victim.
When they need an all-woman only shortlist, they're saying you are not good enough.
I'm offended by that.
Exactly.
Grossly offended.
I mean, Labour's, it's not like they don't have a history of this.
How many categories of women do you think will compete?
Well, that's a good question. I have no idea. But the thing is, they do this constantly.
Black, female, lesbian.
It's this kind of condescending sort of. Honestly, you could call it patriarchal nature of it, where they're sitting there saying, right, okay, white men, they can pay full price.
Yeah, of course.
Brown people, they're poor.
Yeah.
They're not capable.
That's
They
why I'm
can't
selling
do
my
these things.
t-shirt, man.
Exactly.
Come on. I'm
What
broke.
do you think of it?
This is the thing, it's all assumption, and it's all coming from a position of superiority on their part, because the people who organise this are obviously white people. It's like, so literally her comment is literally, the men can jostle amongst themselves to be the deputy. So, oh yeah, you're not man-haters. But you're not man-haters. Got it. Right, okay.
Do you think it could possibly be because she's the only somewhat competent
woman in the
Harriet Harman? That's a somewhat generous assessment.
She make a Jew compared to most of the women in Labour.
What do you mean by competence?
She advocated for paedophiles, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, but like the young man said, look at her competition.
Right.
It's
Kathy Newman for PM.
Yeah!
What you say?
lobster lives matter. That's all I'm saying.
That's crustacean discrimination.
So you're saying?
I like eating lobster.
Yeah, so I'm saying, yeah. But literally, I mean, her statement is, I think we should. I think we have to be quite clear about this and basically say that there are lots of fantastic men in the Labour Party who'd be more than capable of being leader. There's no doubt about that.
I think the men should be measured by the length of their cock.
Well, any length is too much length.
No, bigger than you, man.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. If you've got a cock, you're out of the running, even though, like she says, there are lots of fantastic and capable men. Not that there are, but not in the Labour Party anyway. But this is the point, it doesn't matter. It's about categories. It's about making sure you play by their rule book and them having dominance over you. That's all this is about. And you're going to be, if you're a Labour voter, which I'm sure very few of you guys are, ex-Labour voters maybe, but it's all about making sure that you are like whipped into action. You're whipped into line. It's just what they want to do. But this has a negative consequence because in the law, gender is a protected characteristic. And I don't even mind that, actually. That's fine. Because as Newsweek report here, a man has won $390,000, a man from Australia, because he was discriminated against in favour of a female colleague.
Because he was a backpacker.
Basically, he was way more qualified than her, but she got the promotion anyway. And a court in Austria, not Australia.
Oh, fake news!
Hey, look, honestly, look,
Risky business.
it's going to be both at one point.
Well,
But,
one's Josef Fritzl, the other's Marmite.
But yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. The case, obviously, this case has been going on for 7 years, so it's nice to see that the guy won it. But it was the Austrian Minister of Transport, Innovation and Technology, led by a social democrat politician who's currently the second president of the country's parliament. Now, I read that because this is important. This is literally social justice nonsense at the very top of countries. This is the power and influence they have. I mean, who are you guys? You're not in parliaments, are you? You know, you're not in parliaments. You're just regular people who have seen all of this happening and have had the effect on your lives directly. The people in the top all agree with this, and now they're using this for their own benefit. They're using this specifically to discriminate against each one of you. There's nothing you can do.
Meritocracy.
Oh, fuck, we've got meritocracy. That's gone. That is gone. In fact, the reason that this guy's suing is because that's gone. Literally, the let me find the thing. So yeah, 3 candidates came forward and they were all judged to be highly qualified for the role, but this other woman got it. Even though this guy was rated 25% higher than her, she was still selected for diversity reasons, presumably. And finally, we have a wonderful piece from the Huffington Post.
Oh, yeah!
I saved this to last because I knew I'd get a groan like that.
I worked there.
Really?
I drank soy on a live stream and got employed.
This is not the American one, it's the UK one, which incidentally has offices in London. I can honestly hardly believe the title. It's a direct call for censorship. Get these far-right extremists off their online platform.
It's fake news.
Resisting hate.
Naturally, it's a picture of Tommy Robinson that they have. The only way to tackle the stem of the flow of extremism and abuse on social media is to tackle it at the source. Now, one might
press the block button.
Yeah, exactly. But no, but that's not the problem. Their problem is that they're being heard. That's the problem. Like Tommy put up a video the other day, 1 million views. They can't have that. They can't have millions of people hearing a dissenting opinion, which is why they literally are just calling for them to be censored. That's it. That's their end goal. They just don't want you to speak.
Yeah.
And that's because you are doing damage to their control over the narrative. And it's this narrative that has to be broken. This is what everyone sharing stuff, posting stuff on social media, you might end up in jail, but it's doing good. Exactly. In every social movement, there will be people who get in trouble with the ruling authorities. You are challenging their power directly. There is no choice. It's going to happen. I'm probably going to end up arrested one day. Let's be fair, you probably are. Everyone is.
Sargon, we've got a campaign on the 1st of April. Nazi Puck means on social media. 1st of April, because we got extra protection. Would you support that? I made the page liberalist and the UK one.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm the one that stitched 200 guest lists on over 3 days. That was me, but I couldn't make it because I was.
I'll definitely
support that.
Sargon, when you get arrested, which prison will you go to, male or female?
He can change his mind anytime he likes.
Come on now.
I think my wife would probably prefer if I went to a male one.
If you identify as a female, you'll get a lesser sentence.
Yeah, but I'll get in the neck from my wife for the next 20 years, mate.
You want to be a martyr?
It's not worth the hassle. So, but yeah, I mean, like...
The Guardian were calling for silencing voices as well.
Of course they were. Of course the fucking Guardian was calling for that.
Don't knock the Guardian.
No, the Independent actually had one that supported free speech.
No, they had an article against.
Oh, is it multiple?
And then one for, but the one for was.
Sit on the fence.
Typical Independent was like, we really hate these people, but we should let them spew their hate. But we've
got a history of being a free speech platform, therefore we can't just abandon that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
we don't like them.
It's hardly proportionate. But,
Let's talk about free sex. I'm horny.
It normally is, isn't it?
Unfortunately, I have to buy it.
Admittedly, I have to pay